Welcome back to Fast 2020, ladies and gentlemen. What you have all been waiting for, so many of our runners' choice and host choices went towards this donation incentive. And can we please welcome CrypticCrow, Super Mario Odyssey, and any %/nipple%. Welcome, guys. Thank you.
Alright, thank you for having me. We got commentators Dangers and Reezy as well. And Dangers, do you want to explain DSTA?
Well, sure, yeah. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to Super Mario Odyssey. So, first of all, this is like, I guess we can talk about the game itself a little bit as we start. But the reason that we're on the menu screen right here, setting up a timer, is basically because we're trying to catch the clock ticking over daylight savings time at a specific time. And you might be wondering, well, why the heck would you want to do that? Don't worry about that. We'll explain it a little bit later on. But that's why we're on this screen and not on the title screen. It'll all make sense, but I think you should probably
Yeah,
you can get ready on that.
I'll start my timer. We have a 10. I have a 10-second offset, so I'll count down from 3 as that's going for the actual thing. Alright. Uh, 3, 2, 1, and go.
Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Nice, yeah, good luck.
So Super Mario Odyssey is the most recent installment of the Mario 3D platforming line of games, I guess. So Mario's on another adventure. You know, spoiler alert: he goes and saves Princess Peach from Bowser, who kidnaps her, as is tradition. And the idea of this one is that you have a cool sidekick named Cappy, and Cappy is a hat that you can throw out and bounce on. And that's part of what makes this game a really fun speed game, is because Mario's abilities have always been really fun to play around with, the doubles and the triple jumps. You've got the side flips, you've got the long jumps, but now you're throwing in this mechanic that lets you jump further and higher through the use of Cappy. And we're going to be introduced to Cappy right here at the very beginning of the game.
Yeah, but we should skip that. Who needs that?
Also, Cappy also, when we're going to come in here after he gets this lever, he's going to go into a room, and Cappy not only can help us get further and higher and faster, but can also be used to help capture things. So we're going to capture our first capture here. It's a friendly little frog, and this enhances Mario's power. So we can use different captures, we call them, or different creatures, let's say, to gain speed and use it to make the route a little bit quicker. So here we're using the frog, vectoring left and right like that to gain a little bit more speed, little tiny optimizations here.
Part of what makes this game so fun as a speed game is the cool tricks that you can do with it. You're going to see him actually go left. If you played this game before, you know there's a ramp that leads up the right side. He's actually going to nail the trick on the first try. Very nice.
Yeah, super difficult. Super difficult trick.
Yeah, just making a mistake on the second torpor phase, but that's alright. There's luckily a heart there, so it's not the end of the world.
This is one of the 4 brutals. You're going to be seeing at least one instance of all of the brutal fights in this any % run, and we basically just have to fight them to either get power moons or progress through the game. And all of the fights have a sort of like skip ahead to the next phase mechanic, so you're going to be seeing him utilize that, and we're not going to really let the boss move very much if we can help it.
Nice, and that's Cap Kingdom. Now we're heading to Cascade Kingdom here, where another super short kingdom, super optimized. But here we'll also see our second brutal and our second capture here with the cool little chain chomp.
Do you do Dino Skip?
No, I do not.
Dino Skip is one of the harder tricks in the game, and I'm sure Cryptic can do it, but probably not.
I cannot do it. I just can't.
Yeah, the thing that makes this game exceptionally tricky to grind out at a high level is that whole daylight savings time thing that we talked about earlier. We're basically racing against the clock. Like, daylight savings time is going to tick over at a very specific moment, and if we don't get there in time, then it kind of makes us lose more time. It's a domino effect. So the more consistent you can make your first 2 kingdoms, the better that part is going to work out for you. So
exactly. You can also see like
But-
Cryptic utilizing like what we call like a spin pound. A ground pound is a little slow, and you'll see Mario spin around really quickly and then slam into the ground. There's so many little like tiny optimizations like that that save just a little bit of time but add up in the end.
That's right.
Yeah, here's the leader of the Brutals, essentially, Madame Brutal.
Yeah, nobody likes her.
We can beat her really quickly through these, just like, I don't know, manipulating the way the chain chomp works. Being able to capture him a lot earlier instead of, like, shooting out the way she throws it.
Yeah, this boss fight typically goes in a way where she'll throw out the chain chomp at you. You kind of have to wait for it to stop moving, and you throw Cappy at it a bunch to like knock the hat off and then capture it and then like run away. But with this method that you just watched Cryptic do, we get the boss fight done. It pulls the chain chomp at like exactly the right amount that she doesn't start chasing after you. We get this multi-moon really fast. You'll also notice that Cryptic picked up a bunch of coins while that fight was going on, and that's not by accident. That will play into the run a little bit later on.
How many extra coins do you need to do nipple percent?
We need 1,000 to buy that, but we're doing that run at the end. So that's an extra, like, run that's separate from this any percent. So
Yeah,
I'll be
and 80%.
focusing on getting these things called hint hearts. I'll explain it more in the nipple percent run, but there's like 200 coins you can get from ground pounding these little spots, and we get 3 of those throughout the run to help get enough coins to buy the outfit.
Yep. You can get it as fast as like 8 minutes, I think. The world record is just under 8 minutes.
It's 7:29 by Hey They're Cool.
Yeah, there you go.
In any percent though, we only need 200 coins. So it's pretty lenient. At the super high level, you find that they just barely make the coin count because it's so optimized. But yeah, definitely shouldn't be a problem. Definitely in most any percent runs.
Right. Now, any percent in this game is very different from other Mario games. I think it actually probably closely mirrors Sunshine in the sense that the progression is very linear. You don't really have much of a choice but to get a certain amount of moons in every kingdom before you're allowed to leave. You don't have to fight any of the bosses. The bosses aren't required. The multi-moons aren't required. But you'll notice that every time he queues into a kingdom, some hollowed out circles appear in the top left corner, and we need to fill those with moons before we're allowed to leave. Now, that whole daylight savings time thing we were talking about is going to take place right here. You see this seed that he's planting and he's kind of jumping away from? That seed usually takes 20 in-game, or like actual real-time minutes to grow, but that's where the daylight savings time thing comes into play. Maybe, Reese, you can explain that a little bit more.
Yeah, so basically right now he's entering this pipe, and the runners are so consistent at this time that he's going to leave this pipe pretty much almost exactly at 7 minutes, where this seed will now be grown. It saves 10 seconds over just like what we consider the beginner route. And yeah, so he's got the moon here, and yeah, that was really clean actually, because that bird is also on a cycle. You got to be quick enough to reach that, and a lot of problems can happen here at the beginning of Sand, the town movement, and he's absolutely nailed it here. But coming up now is another optimization like we was found early on in the game. We call it dram strategy. Or dram strat. Basically, Cappy can be held out. If you hold the Y or X button, Cappy can be held out. And also, there's another mechanic where if you shake the controller, Cappy will home into the nearest object or coin or capture. So what we're going to see here now is Cryptic attempt dram strat. So he's going to throw Cappy up in the air, hold him there, go grab a moon whilst he's doing that. And at the same moment he touches the moon, he's gonna go for it now.
Oh, I fucked it up. Sorry. Oops. I stuffed it up.
Okay,
you fluffed it.
I fluffed
You
it.
fluffed it.
I fluffed
He
it.
bluffed it.
Yeah.
And basically there usually you get teleported straight back up to the bullet bill that was above you, but he's got a really good backup here actually.
Yeah, so dram strat for the people following at home, because you know, what the heck does Dram mean? Dram is actually a speedrunner and somebody who has been part of the speedrunning community for a long time. And he never actually did it in his speedruns, but he did kind of theorize this idea of like leaving Cappy in a place and warping back to Cappy after you've accomplished something. Basically just like filling the dead time of you going to do something else. And, you know, when people don't want you to name things after them, it can be a funny meme to do it anyway. So that's basically why we call it Dram Strat. It won't be the only time in the run that we'll see these kind of capture warp strategies taking place.
Yeah, like I did another one in part of the backup to get the moon that we do it with.
So yeah, you can actually manipulate the bullet bills and you know, they track onto you. So he actually manipulated the bullet bill and saved a lot of time making it come towards him after not getting Dram.
There I just did I think Jaxie skip. You have to go through this sub area, this like little sub area to and go through a pipe, and then you'll be taken to the top of that. But with crashing a bullet bill into this little area, you can jump up and save a lot of time and just get some quick easy moons, as well as 50 coins, which will bring us closer to the 100 coin count we need for Wooded Kingdom.
And yeah, this is like one of my favorite moons here, the Notes moon, the last moon in sand. I don't know why, I find this moon so fun.
Oh, that's annoying.
It's a hard one to get exactly right. Yeah, sometimes the spin throw doesn't work out. You can potentially get all of those in one single spin throw, but you gotta be really on your game to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy.
Nice, that was good sand.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was a 5 flat.
5 flat.
As you can see, all those moons have been filled in the top left corner, signaling that he's good to go, ready to progress to the next kingdom. We're going to get ourselves a proverbial fork in the road, where the game is going to let us pick between two different kingdoms, either Lake Kingdom or Wooded Kingdom. Lake Kingdom is the top option, and there is no benefit really in this category or any of the categories that only go to the end of the game for us to pick one over the other, so we're just going to mash through and pick Lake Kingdom first.
Yeah.
Another really short kingdom. Really simple. A few little tricky little bits. There's the zipper can be a little scary sometimes. The fish can kind of work in weird ways and stuff. But
there's another trick that can be used. I won't be going for it, called Lake Clip. That saves about 7 seconds really optimally, but it's kind of hard. It's pretty hard to set up quickly. So I'm just gonna opt out of going for it and just going to the normal route.
Go for the consistent thing.
Yeah. Also, those Goombas that spawn there, those Goombas that spawn there, those are RNG, like the way they spawn, and because I'm trying to manipulate the fish below me to not spawn, I'm like angling my camera up, but I made a mistake there, so I fell down, which didn't really matter to that anyway.
Yeah. The camera in this game is very important, and if you've ever speedrun a platforming game, a lot of platforming games kind of behave in this way in order to save memory. They don't really activate certain platforms or enemies or entities if they're not on camera, just to, you know, make the game run efficiently. And Super Mario Odyssey is an example of that. So what he was trying to do there was point the camera upwards so that the fish that were crossing across those holes that he just captured would be in the most optimal place for him to capture them as quick as possible. And the same thing goes for moons, too. You'll probably see him angle the camera in a couple different weird ways. And that's because if you're jumping towards a moon that, you know, us as the players know exist, but it's off camera as you're grabbing it, then sometimes you can just go directly through it and miss it entirely, which is really cool.
Yeah. And here we got the Rango fight. This fight, for beginners, seems to be, like, really tricky. The timing's funny. But yeah, it's just basically going to backflip, ground pound, and stall in the air. When you throw Cappy at the peak of your jump, he'll kind of stall for a little bit. We use that a few times.
Got the spin throw on the coins too, very
nice.
nice.
Spin throw.
The coins there weren't necessary, it was just a bit of a show off there.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. I already had the 100 coins I need for Wooded Kingdom coming up.
I guess we should start talking about Wooded. It's quite a complicated kingdom. There's so many different routes that people take, and it's probably the kingdom with the most variety in terms of routes. And
Yeah,
probably
going from beginner to immediate to advanced, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and probably one of the coolest, maybe not the hardest. One of the it's a lot of.
I'd say it's the most punishing one. Like if
Yeah,
you are
that's
going for the most advanced route, then yeah, your run will be over if you miss some of the harder stuff.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's very hard. It like doing it well is not easy, without a doubt.
Do you want to explain it, Cryptic?
I was gonna say while we're waiting for us to queue into Wooded Kingdom, maybe we can do donations if we've got any.
Of course.
No donations at the moment, but definitely do need to get them in. We are still waiting to pick the color for Spyro the Dragon in our next run of 117% Spyro Year of the Dragon. And still need $72 in West of Loathing for us to see all of the ridiculous jump scares. So definitely do send in those donations, guys. This is an awesome run, great commentary. You know, show the guys how much you wish to support them and this great charity.
Yeah, let's go. I'm sure we can make it, guys. SMO Army is strong.
That's right. So coming up here is the first shop. The reason that we need to collect 200 coins is because some of the fastest moons in this run are purchased from a shop. And so we need to make a little pit stop right here and buy the first moon. The other one is going to be in the Snow Kingdom later on, so we need another 100 coins by the time we get there, but we will be receiving help from Hint Arts, which we can explain when we get there as well. But this is where Wooded really starts to get interesting, I would say.
Yeah, so Cryptic's going for the most advanced route here. Basically, the trick coming up, we call it nut clip. It's utilizing a mechanic we call unintended mechanic called Moon clipping. Yeah, basically, he's gonna head over to this nut, and it takes a little bit for a moon to spawn. So he's gonna utilize that and try to grab it at a perfect height and throw Cappy.
Yep.
Nice, and that's gonna make him clip out of bounds here. Now some tricky out of bounds movement.
There's the moon.
Oh wow, wow, really good, really good.
Yep, if you ask anybody who's trying to grind this category, they would tell you that part and the ramp that follows it too kind of sucks.
Yeah, this ramp is very hard.
Yeah.
I've already made.
Yeah, if you ask anybody who's trying to grind this category and they're in like the top 50, maybe even top 100 of this game, they will credit this part to being the most punishing and probably the hardest part of the whole run.
Yeah, it saves a lot of time though to get that nut clip. Saves a good like 30 seconds or so. I think a little bit more if you're real good. Oh, that was really nice, that spin pound there on the nut.
Just unfortunate how ramp went. That's alright. Yeah, ramp is definitely not an easy thing at all.
Yeah, but this kingdom in general is just a very scary place to be. You know, falling off the ledge usually means that you die, the instant death mechanic, but this kingdom actually has an extra added scary difficulty element, which is something called the Deep Woods. Halfway around this kingdom.
I'm dead. Didn't get immersion control.
At least you only died. You only died. Yeah.
I didn't get my shake.
So you could tell he was like diving away from the stage. That's definitely on purpose. The reason that Cryptic did that is because he didn't want to end up in the Deep Woods. You're not allowed to warp out of the Deep Woods at all. You're not allowed to. You basically just have to kind of scramble your way out of the Deep Woods in order to get back up to the overworld. And that obviously loses a lot of time. And so does a death, to be fair, because you end up all the way back at the shop. But Cryptic's got his way back.
While we are getting back to where we were, guys, just a quick one. $22.46 from Reezy SMO.
Hey.
Saying, SMO, let's go. And then Karate 101 hype. So thank you so much, Reezy. I appreciate it. SMO Army, flood me with your donations.
Let's go.
Give me all of the donations to read. It's all going to a great cause, guys.
Here we're going to see Cryptic. Actually, he's going to skip. You're meant to actually kill this piranha. And it actually activates the Spewart fight at the end. So now that he skipped that with a crazy FRS, that was really good. That crazy skip only saves about like 2 seconds over in the beginner route, but he did that so cleanly. And so basically now he has to opt to not fight Spewart because Spewart won't load in now. So he's gonna have to take a little bit of a difficult route after this tower. down to the scary pipes.
Yeah, so the reason I got the tree moon earlier, like, was so I have enough moons to be able to skip that piranha. Otherwise, you have to get that. Alright, so yeah, here's the Spew-It arena. We're just gonna head off. I'm gonna attempt to hit Talkatu, but I missed. But I just buffered a jump to cancel the stun animation. So I
That's
don't,
true.
like...
There's things like stun animations and bonking always can lose like up to 3 seconds, and yeah, you want to avoid all of those as much as possible. There's nothing more annoying than a bonk. Now we're heading to flooded pipes. This is a super, super tight cycle here. And to get it damageless is quite difficult. Let's see how Cryptic does. Good so far.
Oh, that's an... I just gotta wait. Ah, man, that's annoying. Not the end of the world?
All good. Took 1 damage, but that's all good. And that's wooded. Now
Yeah.
it'd be
As you can
because
see,
we didn't fight Spew-It. So, sorry, you go.
yeah, I
you
was gonna
go.
say, as you can see, like, being that I took damage, there's a damage refill mechanic. So I lost, like, taking the damage lost time, but as well as when I collected that moon, there's a little animation that plays refilling your health. So that loses about another 2 seconds as well for each, like, damage you take. Not the best wooded, but I got the tricks. Just the death was the main part.
Now you got Nut Clip, you got Flower Road Skip. You did well.
Well, we're going to a new kingdom, $11.17 from Less Talk, More Rock, just with a smiley face. And the guys in chat would also like to know if commentators can see them, and have also asked Reezy to throw in some corny jokes, please.
Corny jokes. I'm not a corny guy. How can I say corny jokes? I'll try to think of one. When we get to Ruined, I'll have one for you guys.
I'm going into Cloud Kingdom, fighting the first instance of the Bowser fight. Well, that's unfortunate. Dangers, you want to explain how this works or something?
Sure can. So, this Bowser fight, the way that this is intended to be done is the way you're seeing Cryptic do it now. You kind of stand back and you wait for the hat to fly towards you. You throw Cappy towards it to stun the hat, and then use Bowser's hat against him. But we're going to be manipulating this fight as much as we can. We're going to get right up in Bowser's face in between each of the phases. Time a backflip and a cap throw at just the right time, and you can see that we're right up in Bowser's business immediately doing it this way, which saves a lot of time. And a lot of the boss fights in this game do kind of have a cheeky, cheesy way to get it done without really going through a lot of the normal mechanics of it. So we try and utilize those as much as possible, of course.
And yeah, now onto Lost Kingdom, another challenging part of the run.
Yeah, Lost is another super quick one, but really dangerous, scary. If you guys have played this game casually, you might have known that there's a scary bird called Klepto who steals your hat if you move into the kingdom. But the runners have found a way to skip that, but it leaves a big risk. You can accidentally trigger him and lose your hat, and loses about a minute. Here's the skip here. We call it Meme Tree.
I was going for the dive vault version, but I messed that up.
Here, let's see. He's going to go for the triple jump here, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, just,
Nice.
just a little back up.
That's right. The purpose of going this way is because Klepto will steal Cappy, and getting Cappy back takes around 45 seconds. So we're not really looking to have that happen at all. And going around the kingdom in this way avoids the trigger zone, basically, for that event to happen, and saves us a lot of time.
Nice. He's gonna grab this tree moon, and then as we head down to the lower area, that's where Klepto can trigger. So we're actually Cryptic's gonna go and up towards Klepto there and trigger him. You can hear the music change. So now we're safe. Now we know, okay, Klepto, he's been triggered. He thinks that he's taken our hat, or he thinks like we've beaten the level. and that was a really nice roll cancel. So like, you can use Mario's momentum in so many cool ways there. Maintaining his momentum, I think in most games like 64 Sunshine is always such a nice mechanic.
Yeah, so I made a mistake. So what I was trying to do was make that torpedo like hit into the box that had the moon in it, but my angle was slightly off, so it didn't hit it first try, so I had to redo it, and yeah, that was also really scary, missing the tree there.
Oh, now we got a really, really scary spin pound. Oh, he got it. Nice.
And like the up throw to get back up.
Yeah,
Oh,
nice
how did I
little
bonk on
upthrow.
that?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a bit of a weird piece of geometry that can happen sometimes.
Yeah.
The invisible rock.
Alright, onto Metro, the place where we thought we were going before we headed into Cloud.
Yeah, we got quite sidetracked, but now we're back on track. This level coming up is actually, I think it's like super scary. There's a town hall section, really quick, fast platforming, all on a cycle. It's quite intense. So, let's all wish Cryptic some good luck for this town hall section, and the Yeet of Faith.
Now, this kingdom is really interesting. This is the one that, when the game was first being announced, they really hammed up this kingdom. They really wanted to show this kingdom off. When you first get here, it's not the sunny place that you see in the advertisement. It's this dark and kind of nasty place that we like to call Night Metro. And basically, the city's being run by this massive mecha wiggler, and we need to oust them before we can leave. It would be really handy if the game provided us with enough power moons to leave this kingdom before the Night Metro part was finished, because then we wouldn't have to do the boss fight coming up. But unfortunately, not enough moons exist for that to be real, so instead we just have to go through with this and do the boss fight. And that's why we're going to have to do the scary City Hall section as well.
There's a faster strat to do this like elevator cycle known as Goombahek. It's actually a different word, but you know, can't swear. But it takes about a second, and it's pretty hard. I've been practicing a little bit, but I didn't want to risk it.
Saves about 1 second, but it's 10 times harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. The really cool thing about Super Mario, or just like Mario speedrunning in general, I would go as far to say, is that Mario's movement is really simple. They're the kinds of games that are very easy to get into, and most people can beat them in one sitting. But because of the diversity of Mario's movements, there is so much room to improve upon it if you choose to. So there's a lot of things in this run and in this game that can probably save you like half a second, maybe 1 second, maybe 2 seconds, if you have the bravery to pull them off, essentially. So there's definitely small optimizations everywhere that everybody could be including in their runs, but you obviously don't want to, die and waste more time. So.
Yeah, and also this fight is one of the first few instances of RNG. It's the main one we have. Basically, just a pattern that this Wiggler will be taking in the second phase. RNG, like the good thing I think about RNG, about Odyssey is like how little RNG there actually is in running. It makes doing attempts a lot easier. But yeah, this is the main one, and that was a pretty good pattern.
Wow, that was really good. Yeah, took 1 damage, but yeah. So you want to get a two cycle here, a 3 cycle. I think loses like 30 seconds or something, but that was really good. Good pattern. Got lucky.
Yep. That Wiggler can pop out of the wall in the second phase and start running around in about a dozen different patterns. So yeah, you got a pretty good one there.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky with that. That was a pretty good night match, aren't we?
Yeah. And that's, we've saved the day, so now the kingdom is going to be bright and cheery again. We just got to pick up the rest of the power moons we need before we're allowed to leave.
Yeah, onto the day portion. There's a lot of really cool movement stuff we can do in here. Like, here we'll be coming up with another one of these, the dram strategies to capture warp from this pylon, from the moon to this pylon here. that should work. And
Yeah, good dram.
Yeah,
And
just like that. You can see leaving Cappy in a certain place, going to do something else, and then warping right back to where we need to be.
And now we're gonna try to see. We're gonna see Cryptic here. He's actually gonna twist the controller upside down and flick the stick. Wow, and clip into that cage. Got a first try. We call that scoot clip. And another dram here, I think.
yeah, I'll be going for one of the harder routes in this kingdom called bullet building route. Instead of, like, normally without doing that you'll get these two musician moons, but instead we'll be going to the slots and to this really hard sub area with some really tricky platforming to get the required moons.
Yeah, bullet building route, saving like 3 seconds, I think, over the, sort of standard route. And really cool because right now he's going to go into one of my favorite rooms. The slot machine. Don't gamble, kids.
Oh, that's unlucky. I got this wrong direction spin throw. It made it a little harder. Alright, it was a lot harder to get, like, that. Getting that in one spin throw is not easy at all.
Yeah, very difficult.
So yeah, it's yeah, like I said, not easy. Alright, on to one of the hardest sub areas in this game, bullet building.
Yeah, definitely brave to be going for this room.
And the reason this room is so hard is not necessarily because the room itself is difficult, but because if you want to do it fast enough for it to be worthwhile, you have to stay on cycle and you cannot make any little mistakes.
Got it.
Wow,
Nice
nice.
work.
Yeah, that's
nice.
perfect. That was perfect.
Yeah, the reason this room works is because you can capture that bullet bill basically at the time that it's about to disappear on you. So the fact that he got it is very impressive.
Yeah, so we just try and get Cappy with an up throw just above the bullet bill. So when we shake in, it'll act as if it's hitting it twice, allowing us to, like, knock the hat off as well as capture.
That nice dive from the rubbish bin. That's always scary. And heading up to the tower here. A lot of beginners find this movement tricky. It's so cool here. Backflip dive, and then up boy goes super fast. There's no
Another one of
stopping.
those instances there where he's tilting his camera up. This is a moon that is notorious for having that problem that it's not on camera fast enough for us to grab it. So tilting the camera up makes sure that it doesn't get phased through. You'll see a little 8-bit Luigi just popped out of that pool, Reezy. What is that all about?
Oh yeah, we got hint arts. So basically, there's these tiny little spots in the game where if you ground pound, you'll make a little pixel Luigi pop out, and you get 200 coins. So we utilize that a lot in the run coming up in nipple percent. So we use it a little bit here in any percent. The more advanced runners will actually get the hint art during the first Bowser fight from before, which saves about 2 or 3 seconds, I think, here in Metro. But now we have enough coins for the next kingdom, and the last shop we'll be visiting in Snow.
Alright guys, well we're going to another kingdom. Mind if I get some donations?
Yeah, sure.
Of course.
Alright, so from our very own commentator part 2, Dangers, $22.07.
Thank you.
Super proud to see Cryptic show off SMO to the world. Here is to a good cause. Thanks Oz Speedruns for putting this on. So thank you to both of our commentators for donating. And after the run, send me a message if you want it to go to an incentive, and I'll put it towards it for you guys. We also have $54.77 from Aiden of Pastertown saying, so excited to see this run. Best of luck, Cryptic.
Yeah, thank you so much,
And $11.17 from Cosmo saying, Dylan gang, let's go. Cryptic, kill this run.
Go Dylan gang. Thank you so much, Oz. Thanks everyone for donating. Alright, yeah. This is this kingdom that we get 10 moons in this, and it's a lot of, like, cutscenes and stuff. There isn't too much movement, but for what we do, there's a lot of really, like, interesting, like, precise movement, and there'll be a really there'll be a route. There's a one routing difference we do between like beginner and like intermediate. I guess is called our snow dram. Another instance of that dram strategy, except it's not at all. It's just named after him.
Yeah, we just decided to keep naming things after him, even if it wasn't relevant.
We have really good memes in the speedrunning community.
We really do. Alright, into Shiveria, where we spent most of the rest of this kingdom.
So while Snow Kingdom is a small kingdom, it is not a very fast one. Basically, the story of this kingdom is that these Shiverians have a tradition, a festival called the Bound Bowl that they participate in, and Bowser has come and stolen the frosted cake from here to throw his wedding, which is what he stole Princess Peach to do. He comes here and he puts a barrier on that Bound Bowl festival, and the whole point of the story is to try and save them, to get that festival back. You can see that actually Cryptic just tried to do another moon clip there. Unfortunately, didn't get it, but not a big deal in this category. You can just go down the hallway. But, so this kingdom doesn't really open itself up. There aren't very many fast moons until you've completed the story. So that's why we have to kind of take our time and go through these hallways and get all these slow moons, because there's not very many available to us.
I hate this sub area. It's not. Yeah, so what I was trying to do was make this triple jump that's on this very tight cycle with how this block works, but I wasn't going to make it, so I went to spin pound it, but I didn't get a spin pound out. Unfortunate. So that just caused me to die, but that's alright.
Yeah, this room is all on a cycle. As soon as you enter it, you need to be kind of on your toes. You can't go too fast, though, either, because that kind of makes things a little bit difficult as well, so...
Like, yeah, I just had to wait there for the Blowy Joey, or the Typhoon, it's actually called, but what we nickname a Blowy Joey to, like, finish blowing so I can go over there safely. Just take a bit of extra time to be safe.
Also, Snow, just like Wooded Kingdom, has another, we spoke about Snow Dram before, but it's another trick where it kind of make or breaks a run. Saves like 10 seconds or something, but if you miss it, I'm not too sure how much you lose.
20 per attempt, about.
20 per attempt, so it's definitely like a big break. Like if you're on PB pace and you're about to go for Snow Dram, it's definitely a really nerve-wracking moment. And it's definitely one of the, a really cool trick, like the fact that we utilize so many different mechanics in one trick, maximizing Mario's height, maximizing Mario's distance, just to barely make it over a gap, which you'll see coming up.
No ICC gap on it yet.
You'll notice that in order to traverse in this game, there's a lot of cap throwing and a lot of jumping and a lot of utilizing the combinations of Mario's and Cappy's movements together in order to get distances. And this Snow Dram that you're about to see, also just kind of easier known as like a painting jump, the snow painting jump, is a display of all of those things put together. And that's what makes this trick so flashy. It's kind of the idea of making Mario go farther or higher has kind of spawned its own community in a way, something that people call trick jumping. Which is pretty unique to Super Mario Odyssey in the sense that people try and see what kinds of gaps they can clear just by using Mario's general abilities.
All right, here's the trick here. Let's see how it goes.
That's really good.
Wow, nice, just first try. Well done, yeah.
I didn't even play this game, and that's impressive.
Yeah, it's definitely not an easy thing to learn, or to get consistent. I've spent
and for a little
many,
bit,
many hours
a little
on
bit
it.
of. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I'm done.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It does take a long time to get used to that trick for sure. To give a little bit of context of why that's so impressive is you're supposed to get this moon later on in the game. Once you beat the main story, kind of opens up this painting chain that you can traverse the kingdoms really easy. And that painting's not supposed to be available to you until you beat the game. It's supposed to be high, out of reach, not able to grab it at all in any way. So the fact that we kind of, tell the game that it's not the boss of us. Essentially, we're gonna get up there if we want to.
Exactly.
The game, you're not my dad. You can't tell me what to do.
Exactly.
Alright, starting off in Seaside, what seems is like one of the. It starts off as like what some people may consider like a bit of a break of Kingdom. Like it's quite small, it's quite fast paced, but once you get into like the top levels, it's really hard to optimize, especially with the fish movement. Like doing that perfectly and saves a lot of time.
Yeah, half of this kingdom, you're basically swimming as a fish, taking as tightest lines possible, cutting corners. But yeah, this is the last moon we'll see as Mario. The rest will be a fish. And at the end of the kingdom, there's a fun little clip that anyone can attempt. It's pretty free. Called a fish clip.
Yeah, one of the more recent discoveries in Odyssey. They haven't really been happening at such a rapid rate lately, but going for this fish clip is one of the first tricks that you can learn if you wanted to get into speedrunning this game. It's actually quite easy. Part of it is credit to the Super Mario Odyssey community, just in general, for providing a lot of resources for getting into speedrunning this game. There's lots of YouTube videos out there. There's lots of community members kind of waiting to help people with their questions in the Super Mario Odyssey Discord. Like, this community is one of the most helpful speedrunning communities you could probably ever come across. And that's saying something. Speedrunning communities as a whole are very collaborative and very generous in their information and their ability to help people. So the Odyssey community goes above and beyond on that.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, so we'll have one more moon before I'll be going for fish clip. Basically just abusing the way the out of bounds areas like tend to work. Like there's not really a like wall that you can like. There's not really like a wall. It just pushes you back with like some like force, somewhat like gravity. But you can abuse like capturing and uncapturing this fish, so we can like reset that, allowing us to get out of bounds really easily.
Yep, and the game has some mechanics in place to try and prevent you from doing that. But if you know kind of how to counteract those, then you can get out of bounds here pretty easy. And of course, we're just using it to collect these moons that we normally couldn't get otherwise. But if you wanted to, you could swim out all over the place and kind of view the entire kingdom from underneath. So really cool party trick if you wanted to just kind of show your friends, hey, look, I can get out of bounds easy in this game.
Yeah, that was a really good Seaside. I only lost like a second or two.
Oh, wow, that was good.
But now onto basically the other really hard kingdom other than the Luncheon.
But one of the coolest looking, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's some definitely really cool struts that I'll be attempting.
Yeah, this is the kind of kingdom where movement really matters, and the smallest optimizations really do add up over the entire course of the kingdom. You can feel like you're doing the same thing as like a runner that's maybe a couple minutes faster than you. You can feel like you're doing exactly the same thing that they are, and they're somehow 15 or 20 seconds faster than you in this kingdom, and it's mind-blowing because of just how many little things add up here.
Oh, going for salt triple to start that little. Oh wow, he got it. That triple jump's really difficult.
Yeah, while Mario was walking off the Odyssey in that little cutscene, I was buffering a spin pound, which you can do by just like spinning the joystick while you're not controlling Mario. So he'll start spin pounding even before you can see him.
Yeah, there's a lot of instances in like cutscenes and in between kingdoms where you can, or even in between stuff like dives and jumps, you can buffer different movement options and things, just saving I guess a lot of time. It adds up.
Yeah, a very important mechanic of this game in general, if you're going to be speedrunning, is knowing that the game is very generous in allowing you to do the actions that you need before you need them. Because trying to press all of those buttons as in the moment of time that you do need them would be impossible. So this game does provide you with a little bit of leniency. And you can even do it even if you're not spinning, pounding or anything. You can test it for yourself. If you're like jumping in a straight line, you can press the jump button probably a good 10 frames before you need to jump again.
Oh, you can just like mash jump as well.
Yeah. when I went back to like SM64, I could not do a triple jump because like it's so lenient in SMO.
Just dipping into this little sub area just to get one quick moon and then leave. Don't need the other one.
I don't know about you guys, but I think if there's any, you know, I think there's quite a few SMO runners or watchers here in the chat. I think when we get to the famous Forks room, I think we got to get some sort of like dance emotes, some Peppy D's or something like that in the chat.
If they have, I don't know.
There's a lot of good tunes in this game, but that's one of them for sure.
That's my favorite.
Alright, little mistake there. What I was trying to do is triple jump, like wall bounce off the wall, and then throw Cappy out so I can shake and then dive to break open that box really quickly, allowing us to get that moon. And yeah, here's another one, the turnip.
Tactical bonk, love it.
Alright, coming up is a camera manipulation. So there's a Podoboo that will spawn, but by just like pointing your camera down, you can delay its spawn like quite a bit.
Yeah, and you gotta time like, you know, when you send
your... I did it too early. Not the end of the world.
Yeah, we're trying to, again, having the camera off of certain entities means that they don't exist. So we were trying to make sure that that Podoboo wasn't existing for as long as possible. So we just missed that cycle. But if we turned the camera just a little bit later, then we probably would have been able to get it.
Alright, Forks time.
Oh, it's fork time.
Definitely a very heavy motion control room. It's like all motion controls.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we beat it really quickly. And we're done with that already.
Always satisfying to watch that run go down.
Yeah, that room's amazing.
That room is really nice, yeah.
Another little camera manipulation I was doing was making sure these pan bros weren't spawned, so I can capture this one as late as possible, as closest to this lever that I'm going to be breaking open. So it just makes it a lot easier to do this moon. And unlock it.
The famous cheese moon. Nice. Hot cheese, melted cheese.
Alright. Just a few more moons to get. 2 moons and then a multi-moon. And then we'll be off to Ruined, everyone's favorite, most interesting kingdom ever. Not just a 3-minute long auto stroller.
This movement coming up actually is like my favorite in the run. Or maybe, yeah, like second favorite or something. It's really cool here. He's gonna like use the Podoboo to light a lantern, or I guess like a candle. And let's see how this goes. He's gonna light the candle and he's gonna throw Cappy out and jump. So he's getting Cappy ready for what's about to happen.
I missed.
So he's meant to jump off Cappy there, but basically saving a little bit of time. He didn't really lose much here.
Just gonna be the damage refill for the most part, but yeah, just missing that vault off Cappy. Here's another like really tight movement to get up here fast.
Yeah, it's super scary. I've like never done that. Nice.
That was really good.
Got the cap return and everything. Very
yeah,
nice.
I know. Been practicing that bit a lot. Alright, and then that's Luncheon Kingdom. If there's any donors or something, this is a good time.
There you go, you heard the banners. Get your donos in so we can read them on stream, because we have 3 minutes of quote-unquote fun. We have $27.52 from It's Emma with no comment, but thank you very much. And I do just want to remind everyone to definitely check out the incentives page. We still have lots of incentives that are yet to be met that can help the marathon run longer, or we can see some weird stuff in video games. For example, naming Tifa in Final Fantasy Beefa. Just for lols. And I would also like to thank everyone. Obviously, we have a few Americans here. For tuning into Oz Speedruns and Fast 2020. Oz Speedruns is a group of Australian and New Zealand speedrunners who run different charity event speedrun marathons throughout the year. Class 2020 is raising money for the Royal Flying Doctors Service. These brave people work 24 hours a day to provide emergency medical and primary health care to everyone who works or travels in Australia. Covering a landmass of 7.69 million square kilometres, they provide emergency care no matter how remote the location. So, super important charity to everyone in Australia. Definitely worth putting any spare money that you do have towards this charity. So, please donate. It'll mean the world to not just us, but them as well.
Yes, do that if you have the ability to. Yeah, here's the Ruined Kingdom. There's just this really scary dragon that will be... It's very hard, everyone knows that. Like, there's just nothing you can do, you know?
It's probably the hardest. Yeah, probably the hardest boss.
Look, it's a big dragon. What are you gonna do?
It's just grumpy Spyro.
It's Spyro's dad.
Someone once called this the dragon from Shrek, and I've never been able to see it any other.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah, I've only ever heard Skyrim. I've never heard the Shrek dragon. That's a good point. God damn.
I want to see Donkey so bad right now.
He's just on the back.
He's making waffles.
At home making waffles when his wife comes back from killing Mario.
There's an Inception moment there.
So while this fight obviously looks very flashy and a little bit out of place for a Mario game, people were very taken back by this when the game first came out. But unfortunately for us, it's not very exciting at all. As you can see, Cryptic is kind of just hopping on the dragon's head and just pulling out these swords. He's using a little damage boost strategy here to kind of just be in the right place at the right time. And lucky for us, there are hearts all over this arena that we can just gather to mitigate the damage, essentially. And we're just waiting for the fight to be over. It's the most auto-scrollery boss in the game, probably. And there's not a whole lot we can do except for kind of just sit through it. So.
Yeah, there's only like very small, like minute time saves you can make just with like how you're hitting the dragon and how you're like opening the keys, essentially. But like it's very minuscule.
There are ways to kind of position Cappy and then position Mario so that you're like pulling a couple swords in the same cap throw, if that makes sense. But aside from that, it's very minor optimization. It's not a whole lot that we can do to speed this up more than we do.
Yeah, and then that's it. But onto the last two kingdoms. Bowser's,
That's right.
Bowser's and Moon.
And it's not such a bad thing that we have ourselves kind of a 3-minute break period because we just had Luncheon. Luncheon is like one of the most movement-intensive kingdoms in the whole run, so we get to take a little bit of a breather after that, and then we're entering the last 10 to 15 minutes of the speedrun, so it kind of gives us a little bit of a breather to prepare ourselves for the challenges ahead.
Yeah, and quite a few challenges in this next kingdom. It's quite a long kingdom. You basically refight all the brutals again. You've got a really difficult, call it a shard section. You have to collect these moon shards. The kingdom requires you to get a certain amount of moons and story moons to progress. So.
Yeah, we don't, as you can see, like we don't know how many moons you're supposed to get, as there's no hollowed out circles like there are for all the other kingdoms.
Yeah, and that's because modern Mario games are doing this thing where they're like, aha, you've arrived at the final challenge. And then when you complete said final challenge, they go, psych, there's one more challenge. So this is basically Super Mario Odyssey fulfilling that. There is a total number of moons that we do need to collect. And of course, as we played the game thousands of times, we do know what that moon total is. So you're going to see Cryptic go off the beaten course, essentially, to gather a couple extra moons on his way up to the final boss of Bowser's Kingdom.
Yeah, it's mostly just story moons and some tight movement in between them. But yeah, there's only 2 other moons we get outside of that.
Yeah, speaking of story moons and tight movement, this next section is one of my favorites in the entire speedrun to watch and also to execute upon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, these little moon shards, we have to collect 5 of them in order to unlock the final story moon to actually collect.
That's 1. That's 2 shards. Quick spin pounds. Oh. 3, 4, and grab a Pokio for the last one, my favorite capture.
It is a bird, so I'm pretty proud of you for that statement.
Bird.
Over.
Yeah. And that's shards. I took damage at the end, but that's fine. It'll just be there's just a little damage refill. Loses about 2 seconds as well on top of that. But yeah, right here I'm gonna go for one of the first extra moons that we need.
Oh, okay, nice. I thought you might be going for the Bowser Dram.
No.
I got a bit worried.
Not that good.
Yeah. Alright, now we get to fight the bosses again.
This will be our second instance of Topper and our first of Harriet. Topper first game.
Oh, I was just about to say, there's a bit of a war in the SMO community where, who do you fight first, Topper or Harriet here? Basically, there's a few who think Topper here is faster to go first, but I tend to sway the other way with Harriet. I find that she's a little bit faster, but look, I'm gonna forgive you for this, man. You'll do Topper first, it's fine.
No, Topper first game. The only real game there is.
I won't judge you while you're on the stream.
Well, yeah, you can't swear on stream, so it's okay.
Now, this is the first time we're seeing Harriet. If you were following along with the story, this would be the second time, because she does appear in Sand Kingdom. But this being the first time that we actually do see her, her mechanics are that she throws bombs at you, and in this fight she throws them in a diagonal. So you kind of have to jump out to the side and hit the bombs at a particular angle so that she gets hit by them right away, so that we're able to jump on her head immediately.
That was a pretty good fight. Just messed up the last phase, but
Yeah, no, that was good.
now onto the mech segment.
Wow, yeah, now take every boss fight we've had so far, minus the dragon, and put them all into a giant robot, and that's what Cryptic got to deal with now. Super difficult, but super optimized and really cool fight to watch. Like just like Shards, super quick, super fast. If you've played this game casually, you wouldn't believe how quick some of the guys do this mech fight.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Because this kingdom has kind of been teaching you about this one capture, the Pokio. Pokio appears all over the place. You stick the bird's nose into the wall. We're actually going to have to utilize a Pokio here to get up the wall in the first place. So, this kingdom's teaching you how to use the bird, and then the boss fight is supposed to also use the bird. But you're going to see Cryptic is not going to opt for that, because that is a very slow way to do this fight.
It's messed up the blind jump, but that's alright. That jump's really tight.
Yeah, the camera likes to not turn around there at times, but it didn't die though. That was good. And we got the Pokio. So I think Cryptic's gonna go for a really, really difficult, saves like 4 seconds. I think we call it target acquired, and basically, we're gonna utilize. Basically, we have to make sure that our dives and captures are done as quickly as possible to make it back onto the mech to execute a really quick spin pound to defeat the final bubble. So you'll see him attempt that here. So he's gonna climb up the right side of the leg.
And that was scary.
Oh my god. And he's gonna try to get this first bubble and second bubble immediately. So he's going for the second one.
Alright, at this part we just wait a little bit on top of the mech. We see Harriet there. But we basically stand in this spot so the mech will continue to run into the same part of the wall, manipulating its movement, because otherwise it runs across the entire stadium. And there's Harriet.
Yeah, basically he's invincible here, but now we're gonna go for target acquired. So we go top bubble first. Alright, here it is.
Let's go. Nailed it. That was a really good fight.
Easy, man. Nice.
Very clean.
Very tough, and in a marathon, even tougher.
As you can see, the fireworks of the Brutals.
It's the last time we're dealing with them.
No, what do you mean? We're gonna fight Mad and Brood at the end of Moon Cave, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, so Moon Kingdom's our next and final kingdom, and yeah, definitely super cool. Kind of, it was pretty easy, I think. Like it's a little finicky, but really cool trick with the most time save in the game, I believe. Which will be Cryptic will be attempting. Call it Moon Cave Skip.
That was a pretty good Bowser's. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, other than blind jump, that was good.
Yeah.
So just a quick question out of curiosity for all three of you. Did any of you have under 1 hour any percent time?
Big Man Dave.
One of us.
I do, yeah. That would be me.
That's
it
nuts.
was
I
kind of-
remember the first time I ever saw under 1 hour and it blew my face off.
Yes. It is the penultimate achievement for most people who speedrun this game if they're taking it seriously. Like, it's the sub 1 hour. The very first one was in March of 2019, and since then, I think only 16 people have accomplished it. So, despite this game being one of the most speedrun games of all time, only 16 people, I think, having accomplished it. Now the world record is down to 57:54. So
Yeah.
the people who are extremely dedicated to this game have really just driven down the optimization of it to the point where we're looking at 2 minutes faster than a sub-hour now, which is crazy.
Yeah, Mitch is insane. Both Mitch and Tyrone.
And in quite a short amount of time. Like, this game hasn't, in the grand scheme of things, hasn't been out very long.
Mhm.
Game like SM64, I think it's been out for like 24, 25 years.
Yep, I still cite this game as like, if you're looking to speedrun a game and you don't really have one in mind that you want to, because my answer is always the game that you like the most. But if you don't really have one in mind, this is usually a good one to get into because the game itself is really easy to beat just in one sitting, and there's so much, like the ceiling is very high to keep improving.
All right, here's that skip we were talking about. Instead of going into the cave, we're going to do a ground pound on the Sphinx, some pretty precise wall jumps. Nice, first try, and we're up. Skipping that whole cave, I think it saves like 5 minutes, something crazy.
lot.
Minutes. Yeah.
I think as a bit of a meme, some people started doing inside the moon cave speedruns, and I think the best one that came out of that was like a 2 minute and 40-second time.
Yeah,
That's
So, you know, that's the best, right? The average one's probably going to be around 3 minutes long, so you're saving about 3 minutes.
Yeah. And here we see Bowser again. It's pretty much the same fight that we saw before. Oh, nice spin throw strat at the start.
I messed it up though.
Oh, so close.
Just a little too late.
Yeah.
That's a really tricky...
I had to drop the input on the dive, so I was too far away.
Yeah, basically this is the same fight that we saw before, except Bowser's going to be shooting some fire at us in between each phase.
So it's really hard, you know.
In a way, I think it's the last boss fight, but
I find this so much
easier
easier
first
than the
one.
cloud one because it allows you to set up a fast hat so much easier. Like you have so much more leniency with it. That's phase 2. Just some more fire, and then phase 3 of this fight, and on to escape.
Yeah, basically, Bowser will swing his tail at you. He'll swing once, and then twice, and then 3 times, and then once, and that's basically the only thing you really need to focus on here. And fast sets. When you're under pressure, though, like I don't know about you guys, but for me, I've often lost count, and I lose a run to not counting. So here we got to see Cryptic do 3 jumps, and then 1, and then we're off to probably one of the coolest endings of a Mario game ever.
Yeah, the whole mechanic of capturing things kind of led up to this moment. You're like, okay, so the game isn't finishing now that we've done this fight. That can only mean one thing. And you kind of like roll up and you capture Bowser, and it's like it was a very satisfying ending. One that you kind of hoped was coming.
Yeah, basically the moon is collapsing, and we got to get out of there. So let's go. Oh yeah, and Bowser's got some fireballs, so Cryptic is shaking. You gotta shake a lot here. He's shaking for those fireballs. And we got a really, really tight, interesting 2D section, which is right at the end of the run, which can be...
Should I go for 2DSS? Never done it. Just do it for the...
Bouncy Bowser?
I'll try it once for the memes.
We'll go
Why
for
not?
Bouncy
Do
Bowser.
it for the memes. Why not?
I need to at least touch the wall. No, come on. Nah.
Basically, you could traverse this wall. There's a bunch of these invisible platforms here that you can hit. It's a super difficult trick, but you can basically skip this whole 2D section.
There are a few tricks in this game that are still kind of like, yeah, let's not do this yet because it's ridiculous, and that's one of them. Not very many people actually go for that trick in top level speedruns just because of how hard it is, but
I don't think anyone
skip the entire 2D. I mean, I was kind of famous for doing it when I speedrun this game a lot. I don't know if I would do it on like a run that was close enough to PB that if I missed it, I would not. You know what I mean? But,
yeah, that's right. That's what I meant. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and now the best jam, the best song in the game. I think we need some sour, please, and while we're in here, please.
Of course. So these fireballs are something you might not even know about in your casual playthrough because it is a motion control, but they're very important here. The idea is to get that first pillar down as fast as possible as you're running up, and then we're going to be kind of taking down the pillars with fireballs as we go around the circle here. And the scary part about this escape is that if you were to die at any point, you would be back at the beginning of the escape, losing essentially 2 minutes if we were to die here.
I died here in practice yesterday.
Yeah, it still does happen to the best of us.
Alright, time's coming up here.
He's going to be charging up in this wire and then shooting out.
Alright. And... time.
GG's.
GG's.
105, man, that's good.
Yeah, I'm happy. Alright.
Yeah, I think 105, that's when you're starting to be considered a really top runner, a really good runner. 105 in a marathon's really good. Yeah, you should be proud, man. That's great.
Yeah, I'm proud. Alright. We got one other run coming up thanks to all the everyone's generous donations.
Oh man,
yes, as a result of the donations given in by people watching AUS speedruns right now, we're going to be doing something called nipple percent, which is incredibly scandalous as it sounds. There's an outfit in this game. It was like the very earliest meme that the speedrunning community created. There's an outfit in this game where Mario puts on the boxer shorts, and to our absolute delight, Nintendo included Mario's nipples in this game. So the speedrun is essentially to whip those out as fast as possible. So we're gonna see a little display of that right now.
Yeah, I'll open up a new file as soon as I can, and we'll get away with that.
While we're setting up, do we have any more donations that have come in?
We do indeed. I have $33.37 from Anonymous with no comment, so thank you, Anonymous. Anonymous is dropping a lot of money. And we also have $11.55 from Spooky Boy saying, "Forsooth, egads, this marathon is far too lacking in booze." Add this pile to all booze of West of Loathing. So with that, we only have $60.68 to get all of the jump scares in West of Loathing, which is only about 3.5 hours away. So we need to get $60 there to get that met, so we can all have a spooky little afternoon.
$60 in 3 hours definitely can do it, guys.
Alright, I'll count us down for the start of nipple percent.
Cool, man.
3,
when you're ready.
2, 1, start.
Good luck.
Good luck, man. Yeah. So yeah, we explained it a little bit before, but basically this is a run just to get 1,000 coins as quickly as possible to unlock the boxer shorts to reveal those luscious nips. Don't forget to get those coins in cap, by the way.
Yeah, there's so many times I've started up a run and then just completely forgot to get the first 40 coins in Cap Kingdom, and it's just can't go back now.
So yeah, so we're only going to see 3 kingdoms in this run. It's quite a quick one. We end the run in the shop at Sand Kingdom, so that's where we get the boxer shorts.
That's the first place that they're available. So. Now, we pointed out the coin hint art in the any percent run earlier, and those are basically what make this category as short as it is, because we're going to be specifically looking to get 3 of those that are available on our way to the shop in Sand Kingdom. And they give us 200 coins each, so that's the big bulk of what we need. And then the rest is going to come from a couple coin caches, like the one you just saw Cryptic grab there.
Yeah, and another main one in Sphinx in Sand. That being the final one.
I think what we also need to remember is, as soon as we see Mario's nipples, is that we need to get donations in just because that's respectful.
Of course.
Yeah. He's showing off his body for us, so we should respect him by donating to a wonderful charity.
No, yeah. I thought that was just like,
That was just a given,
of course. Yeah, so here as the frog, we're going to be collecting some coins here. Basically, you just need to collect as many coins as possible, because if you're low on coins leaving this kingdom or the next kingdom, it's really going to slow you down in Sand. Here we're taking the right side, because on the right side you actually get a nice pile of coins here. And he got most of them, nice. I think you want to leave Cap Kingdom with about 90 coins. That's a good safe number. So we got plenty here.
Yeah, so I just spin throw it at the end as well to get a couple more, just to make sure I'm good.
Yeah. So these hint hearts that Cryptic's got to collect, they're actually only able to collect through a ground pound, and they're very, very, very difficult to find, and you have to ground pound on a very, very, very specific spot. And one of the cool things that these runners can do now is just pinpoint that exact spot in a split second, and usually the game will sort of like with moons and stuff in the ground, your controller will vibrate, giving you a little hint that something's there. But here it's all visual, and it's actually crazy how people have even found hint hearts.
Well, I mean, they were announced by Nintendo's Twitter when 1.2 was being a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they were like announced slowly through like hot patches. And now we just utilize them. That's why a lot of other categories are fast. Well, before 1.3, like the longer categories were faster on 1.2 because of these hint arts, because we needed coins.
There's also
version.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you go. It's all good.
Well, I was going to say that version differences have been a pretty contentious issue in Super Mario Odyssey speedrunning. But thankfully, in around May, I think it was April or May of 2019, they released a patch that kind of overclocked all the loads in the game and made this version the best version for every category we're doing.
Can I also just point out that there's over 1,100 people currently watching us race to see how quickly we can see Mario's nipples?
SMO,
Fantastic.
let's go.
Fantastic.
So now we're going to see a Cryptic. He's going to take a little bit of a different route here than the any percent. He's going to head up here to get this hint art. It's really tightly hidden in between these two little pylons here. There we go. He got over the spin pound first try. And now a really tricky jump on the rib. Oh, he got it. Nice. Now that jump is really finicky. And yeah, we take this route up to Madame Brood, and just like any percent, we fight her like normal.
Of course, getting as many coins from the side as we can.
Yeah, I need 320 leaving Cascade, so can make sure I have those.
Yeah, I think he'll be more than fine. Nice.
You have 318 currently, but there's also 2 more I can get in the bush and sand, and also I'll just like get some coins or getting the moon. That'll be enough.
Yeah, so you'll see Cryptic do this really cool. He'll roll towards the moon and then quickly throw Cappy out to collect some coins at the same time. Boom. Nice.
Okay. Just gonna get one more moon in Cascade, and then we're onto sand. We'll finalize the run. Whip out the nips.
I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, that's like the big routing difference in Cascade is just getting that hint art. That's the most important part. But then obviously we don't get any moons in sand. We're just hard lining for coins. so we have enough to buy it, the 1,000 coins necessary.
Oh yeah, the coins in that bush are a good backup actually. If you don't have if you don't have enough.
There's a 10 stack there.
10 stack floating there. But now we got 2 more hint arts to get. The first, they're both like pretty tricky, and there's a lot of variation in different ways people attempt to grab the first hint art in sand. I think you're gonna go for the like the up throw.
Yeah.
Yeah. So little simple up throw.
Just a capture or a pylon to allow
Using
me to
the
get up.
wires. Yeah, those fast wires.
Smashing through text. We didn't explain it earlier, but Chinese is the fastest version of the fastest like language in the game, due to less characters in the text, so we can mash it faster. It was originally thought that like only like runs like nipple percent were faster in Chinese, for some reason. I think it was to do with like there being more text earlier on than later on, but we later realized that's not the case.
Yeah, for the longest time, any percent was run in Japanese. Only recently we found that
That's not the right direction.
we found that simplified Chinese is actually faster. So we got the first hint art here, heading over to the second one. Perfect amount of coins.
That second one's a lot more harder to get.
Yeah, this one's really tricky.
Yeah, I'll have enough coins to make this through.
Those
Yep,
nipples
we
are-
need 1,000 is the magic number, so you're gonna see that we're not quite going to the shop just yet. There's one more pit stop we need to make.
Here we go. Triple jump. Nice.
I open up the Sphinx's vault. Well, where we used to get a moon here in any percent, but instead we're just gonna get some coins.
And if you noticed, Cryptic, he got a checkpoint just before getting the first hint art, so he's going to quickly warp all the way back. And here it comes, guys. Get ready.
Alright, time's coming up really soon.
As soon as he buys it from the shop.
Can I talk to the dude, please? And time.
Nice, man. An 8:31.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Alright,
Oh.
let's chuck it on. Let's whip out the nips.
Yeah, there's a
There
tradition
they are.
here. You gotta show them
Nips,
all.
nips.
Nips.
I can't change the camera in here. I'll do it outside.
Yeah, just leave it there whilst we finish things up and transition. Just looking at the beauty that is nipple percent.
Look at them.
Yeah. He's freezing. The cold kingdom of sand.
If you jump, he'll open up.
Yeah, he's a little shy.
There he is. How do you zoom in? I straight up don't know.
Hold
I
up or
think
something?
it's X.
Oh yeah, X or Y.
There we are.
Look at that.
Yes.
I couldn't be more proud.
Wonderful.
Preview from Mario's OnlyFans. All right, guys. Any shout outs you want to have?
Shout out to everyone in the community. Shout out to Dangers and Reezy for commentating for me. I really appreciate it. Shout out to everyone who's donated. Shout out to obviously the charity, the Royal Flying Doctors of Australia. It's really, really important charity.
Yeah, really good cause.
Thanks to Odyssey Speedruns for hosting this. This has been really fun. This is my first marathon run, and I'm really excited. It was really, really good time.
Shout out to Mario's nipples, because, I mean, let's face it, they're the reason we do what we do.
Yeah.
And shout out to CrypticCrow, Cryptic with 2 C's on the end. Make sure you guys go drop him a follow for putting on this run. This is what he does on his channel, so if you are interested in watching him improve himself in Super Mario Odyssey speedrunning, go give him some love.
Yeah,
Thank you.
guys, and if you want to join the community, definitely check it out. There's a lot of YouTube videos. There's a lot of tutorials. It's a really easy game to get into. Everyone's super friendly. So if you guys ever want to jump into Super Mario Odyssey, join the Discord, check out the YouTube tutorials, and yeah, we'd love to have you.
Yeah. Thank
All
you.